Hey, good morning, hello, and good afternoon or good night, all that good stuff. Welcome to another episode of Conversations with Geoff. And yeah, you're not crazy. We're in a different situation, and just the way things are, I hope you can endure this session with me and us and our guest. I can't do much with the noise background. I hope again you can hear us. But boy, we got a great message, and we are committed to showing up. So anyhow, with all that being said, I want to thank everybody for all the support that we've had moving forward, and welcome all the newcomers to the family Conversations with Geoff. Right, and our mission. Those of you that know that, and those of you that don't, let me just tell you, our mission is to really empower individuals, empower, inspire, and encourage folks to realize the gift that they have in managing the conversation, being aware of the conversation, taking responsibility for the conversations that they're having with themselves, by themselves, about themselves. Right? And then on top of that, the conversations they take away from all the distractions. Again, I'm here live in Starbucks in Houston. So you're going to see all kinds of stuff. Hopefully nobody that is inappropriate, but we'll never know. Anyway, so hang out with us just the same. And remember that the whole point of everything that we do in this show is to bring guests that have like-minded conversations around sharing their experience, creating an opportunity for folks to really have an impact in their lives that don't think they can. So again, you're not crazy. You're senior people. They may stay high. I love this. You know what? One thing for sure about us, we're transparent. Keeping it real is the best thing we can do. Anyway, so welcome everybody. And let me just say this before I bring our guest on. As you all know, I want to give you something that you can take away today, and something that's kind of been happening in my life, man. And it's about health and all that stuff. We'll talk a little bit more about in family. We had some great things happen in our family. My nephew was given an opportunity to go into a new church. We were there for the ceremony. It was just amazing, the love that he had. This young man, Nathaniel Smith, is a bad man, right? And I want to say the church is called The Table. Google it, look it up, make sure you support him. But it was just a powerful opportunity for the family to come together. And this young man, a very young man, very professional family man, was welcomed and loved. And so really check it out. Even for those of you that may not go to church, the message is one that speaks to everybody. So check him out. And what I want to say to you is this, that you never know where you're going to end up. This young man was a corporate professional, and he still has those skills. And nowhere in his life did he think he would be delivering such a powerful message and helping change people's lives through the religious perspective. So you never know where you're going to end up. So if that is a voice in you whispering to do something great with yourself, give that voice a chance, right? Anyway, so our guest today, man, I'm excited about talking to her. I haven't had a lot of conversations with her. And because of where we are, I'm going to kind of let her maybe talk a little bit about her bio. But she is a real estate investor, a paralegal for a lot of years. And she really likes to help investors kind of learn how to protect their assets. And some roadblocks that she had a baby, lost a job, multiple jobs, all the stuff that we hear about. And she's still here. Right, this woman, the times that I've spent with her, man, has always been like a refreshing and engaging and empowering environment. And I know, along with all our guests at Starbucks here today, she's going to light us up. So, ladies and gentlemen, with no further ado, let me invite my guest. I'm not sure, I can't remember where she's at, what part of the country she's at. Let's talk to her, Cheri Harris. All right, Cheri, let me see if I can get you here. And make sure that when you jump in the chat, you let us know where you are, who you are, and what we can do to help you in this session. So anyway, how you doing, Cheri?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm hanging in there, right?
Might be a little bit of confusion. I have not had a baby.
Yeah,
I have lost multiple jobs, but I didn't put that down. But
yeah,
I'm from Chicago. I currently live in Tennessee.
Okay, all right. So
I've made my life down here.
Chicago born. Windy
Yeah.
City. Yeah, we were actually in or near Chicago. That's where my nephew's church was in Joliet, Illinois.
Oh, I know it well. Yeah,
Yeah.
my mom's from Michigan, my dad's from Georgia, but somehow they met there, so that's where I ended up being from.
Gotcha. All right. Well, hey, listen, they're saying hi to you. We got some folks from Dallas, and we as investors have an entrepreneurial spirit. We are all just getting it to buying needs. I love it. Starbucks scenery. Thank you. We got loving people here, so let's deliver what we got here. So they're saying hi to you and hi, Geoff. So also Facebook users, if you would put your name in, because it still doesn't show who you are, so we can call your name out. So thank you. All right. So Cheri, anyway. Talk to me, my friend. How's it going? What's going on in your life, business? What's that?
It's busy. It's wonderful. You know, when you have that 9-to-5 job, you're going. It's a drain, and you're tired and stuff. I'm tired all the time now, but it's tired because I'm doing things I love. I have the full-time paralegal business, opening LLCs and doing subject tos and contracts and loan docs for people. And then I'm also flipping 3 houses at the same time.
Wow.
So I'm working 20 hours a day, but I couldn't be happier. I mean, I do cherish my sleep when I get it, though. You know, once a week I make sure I get to sleep until at least 10 or 11. You know, but yeah, I love it, and I love helping people. So you know, it's after all the things I've done. I was a truck driver. I was in the Navy. I was in the Army. I finally found my true calling, and it took a really long, you know, most people are like, oh, I'm 30, I figured it out. No, I'm 56, and it took me till about the age of 52 to figure out what I really wanted to do.
Oh, man.
I'm a late bloomer in the whole figuring things out, you know, thing.
Yeah. Well, you're in good company because I'm still trying to figure my stuff out. So, you know, I'm a little older than you, too.
I reinvent myself every few years, you know, keep me young, I think.
Yeah. So I got to ask you, what in the world? Are you crazy? 3 flips, full-time business. I mean, for those of us that do flips, I mean,
I recycle my contractors. Like,
oh, yeah, okay.
Well, if I have 3 flips at a time, I start them about 2 weeks apart.
Yeah.
I'll have the electrician go through. When he's done with that one, he starts on the next one. Then the plumber comes in, and I just rotate my crews through.
Yeah.
And everybody's got a big schedule on the wall.
Yeah.
You know, these are the projected dates, and they have to highlight when they're there. If something happens, we readjust the schedule. We have I get everybody together every Monday morning, and we meet for about half an hour, go over what our schedules are, what our delays are, if there's problems, anything unexpected. We hash it out. We agree to meet back on Tuesday with the solutions, and we keep going.
Yeah, you know, and that's so important because what you're describing is this process and the system. You know, and that's so important for you new real estate investors out there that want to be like Cheri or other investors that are turning that over. I mean, we do the same thing with our projects. You know, it keeps our contractors busy, right? They stay with us. You know, they can.
Yeah, you don't keep them busy. All of a sudden, you need them and they're not available.
Somebody else has them, right?
That's it.
And they can start to get comfortable knowing that they have jobs and income generating, you know, over a period of time. So that's what we've been told around that. So I get it. I figured you had to have something planned and worked out now. Are the flips that you're doing, are they big and nasty like we like, or tell what?
The first one I'm working on right now, just finishing up, was super nasty. It was a hoarder house, dead rat bodies, things. And we're just finishing that. I teamed up with my real estate agent, and she's also an investor. We joint ventured on that one.
Okay.
The one I'm in now is a beautiful home, but it's just a little faux paint jobs, a little outdated, you know, so I'm going to freshen this one up. And then I've got another one that was a probate that's kind of a little bit of a mess, that a lot of water leaks, a lot of, you know, roof leaks, a big hole in a roof. So yeah, I'm not afraid to tackle anything.
Well, that's good. And I don't know if I told the folks, she's actually, ladies and gentlemen, in one of her flips right now. And you might as well make an office space out of it when you can, right? So maybe she'll even show us a little bit about it.
Well,
let's take us on a quick tour.
Yeah. This is the lovely living room paint that has some kind of a weird, let's see if I can, oh wait, it's looking at me. How do I turn it around?
Yeah.
I don't know how to turn it around.
Oh, well, maybe just turn your camera.
Anyway, I'll back up again.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, yeah, it's got this weird shiny finish all over. The house came with a grand piano.
Oh, bravo.
And some furniture. So, I mean, it's a really nice house. It's been kept up well. It just needs some updating. It's got some beautiful, some beautiful woodwork up here.
Oh,
On
yeah.
the ceiling. Wait, where am I looking? Floor.
Yeah, that's the floor now. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Ceiling.
Yeah.
There we go. There's the ceiling. So it'll be very nice when it's done. We're starting demo tomorrow.
Starting demo tomorrow. So target completion, and if you don't mind me asking, how much? 6 weeks.
6 weeks. Yeah, the kitchen is just a mess.
Oh yeah, that's
so we'll be taking out a main wall to open it up. But yeah, it's on a half acre on a corner lot in the city of Chattanooga. It's absolutely beautiful.
Well, and Chattanooga's going crazy too, right?
Yes, it has. It's wonderful.
Yeah, Tennessee in general, like Nashville, Knoxville, Chattanooga, just over the last 10 years, just crazy.
Well, no state income tax, so it's becoming a nice place to retire as well.
Yeah. So you think you'll stay there till you're done?
I do. Okay. I bought a house last year to flip, and I decided to keep it. So I'm turning it into what I want, which I think is wonderful because, there's certain things I want in my home I can't find anywhere. So I bought this one for next to nothing, and I'm just doing it a room at a time.
Yeah. That's so many people want to do that, and they hear different stories.
And most people are like, well, why isn't it done? You got this one done in 8 weeks. I said, the same thing. You go to a mechanic, and his car is always the broken down one because he's so busy working on everybody else's. When he gets home, he doesn't want to do it.
That's the last thing he wants to think about is screwing a wrench and checking the oil, right?
That's it. Yeah. So I'm getting all this set up so that I only have to pop out here once every week or so for a meeting, check in on things. And that way I focus on the legal side of things. Because right now I probably have about 2,000 clients, and I'm taking more. Forming LLCs, trust, new people trying to get into the business are sometimes told they need 4 and 5 LLCs, and it's not true.
Yeah.
So my goal is to get people the best asset protection, the best states, keep them anonymous, and do it as inexpensively as possible. Okay. Because when you start out, people are like, oh, join this, spend 20,000, spend 5,000, 6,000 on this. When you finally find a house, you've got no money.
Yeah, no operating capital because it's all dumped in.
Right.
It's right.
The same thing with people who lend. People that have a 401k or have an account doing nothing. They may have only 15,000. They may have 200,000. You turn those people into private lenders. I speak with those people on lenders' behalves to explain to them the process, how they're protected, and then I do the loan paperwork to make sure that everybody's protected. So I'm kind of a jack of all trades. I'm even doing estate planning for some people. So my biggest achievement is I had a client come to me about 6 years ago with about $5.3 billion in property.
5.3 billion.
I got him all set up with all his trusts, his LLCs. It took about a year and a half and a 2-page will. He passed away a few months ago. And his kids don't have any probate, no inheritance taxes. They automatically have all those properties and LLCs and trusts already set up. So that probably saved them about almost $2 billion in taxes.
I was just going to say, what other headaches would they be dealing with right now if that wasn't there? What's the biggest one that they would and most people?
Probate, because probate can eat up to 20 to 25% of the value with the lawyers and the court systems. And then on top of that, you've got your inheritance taxes. Yeah. So that 5.3 billion could have been brought down to about $1.5 billion. They would have lost 70% of their assets. So, but because we got it structured properly, a simple 2-page will left his LLCs and all his trusts to his beneficiary company, which they were already members of. So it passed through seamlessly.
Yeah. So I hope you guys are hearing that. You may not have $3 billion yet. But if you treat $300 like $3 billion, you'll soon get that, right? And protection. That's it. Because you said something. I want to back you up. You said in there about keeping them anonymous. Yeah. Can you talk about that?
For real estate people, I form their LLCs in Wyoming. Because Wyoming has the best corporate veil. And for those people who are new, a corporate veil is what protects all of the houses you're going to buy from everything personally that you own, your cars, your houses, things like that, that you don't want to lose. If your business ever gets in trouble, you don't want them to come after your personal assets.
Right.
That is what I do. I make sure to set these up. So one, they're anonymous. Like frivolous lawsuits have just taken over this country. People will go to an attorney and go, oh, I fell on this guy's property. And the lawyer's like, we're going to go get him. I'll take 40%.
Yeah, it's crazy.
To the person who fell, because it's no money off it, he's not coming out with cash. Well, the lawyer's going to look up, find the LLC, find out it's in Wyoming. It doesn't list ownership. It doesn't list members. All it shows is an organizer, which you never want to sign your name to. You have me do it.
Right.
They come to me. I don't have to reveal who owns the company because my secretary set it up and she's no longer with the company. So I don't know where her records are. Then the lawyer goes back. Same thing with the trust. He goes back to the client and says, look, I can find this out, but I'm going to have to get bank records and I'm going to have to get subpoenas and blah, blah, blah. I need $5,000 to start with. That's when the case disappears. Now, obviously, if there's a legitimate case, they can figure it out. And that's what insurance is for. I always advocate you have insurance. Yeah. But this is just for the junk, the people that are going to try to scam you, things like that. Also, let's say you have a $200,000 house and a couple cars, and you want to file bankruptcy or something happens like that. If we have all your assets set up property and LLCs and trusts and things like that, no one will know about those assets. So if someone wants to sue you directly, Geoff, they're going to say, I'm going to look up all his assets. None of that will show up. So they're going to be like, well, this guy doesn't have anything to take. What's the point?
Right.
Right. It's not only to protect the business, it's all to protect you and your family and the legacy you're trying to build.
Yeah, and that's so true, I mean, because so many times not knowing what to do scares people, and then they don't know who to talk to. And there's a question I want to go to right quick. Someone said they heard that Wyoming doesn't do that any longer.
Does it what?
It says Wyoming doesn't do that any longer, and they didn't say referencing what.
Doesn't do what any longer? Because I formed 2 LLCs this morning. Tell me what they're not doing.
Yeah, maybe they'll drop. If you can explain that question so we can get to that. And it's probably something you may have mentioned as to why you form it. And Wyoming, but I don't want to guess. Yeah, it's anonymous.
Yeah. Wyoming just asks for the name of the company. Then we get your registered agent. So we don't use your home address. All mail that is legal mail goes to your registered agent. So it's not going to your home address. That's not showing up on file. They ask who's organizing the company, which is my company corporately. Okay. So I'm listed as the organizer. Your name shows up there.
Okay. It looks like they said if it's the same person. I heard Wyoming doesn't do that any longer, and then they put down the protection. So,
the Wyoming in 1974 was the first state to create the LLC. A bunch of attorneys got together and said, look, I'm a one-guy office. What is the point of my doing corporate minutes and meetings when it's just me meeting with myself? There's got to be an answer. So they formed a hybrid called the Limited Liability Corporation. Yeah, okay. Wyoming bases their entire business on anonymity and the corporate veil. Now, the corporate veil protects you. If, let's say, I go to the gas station and I grab the wrong debit card and put gas in my car from the business account, or I accidentally write a check for the electric bill and it's from the wrong account. Wyoming will not let them pierce the corporate veil for those reasons. The only thing is, if you commingle funds or something like that, the only reason they would go ahead and pierce that corporate veil is if you also committed fraud. Fraud will pierce the corporate veil in every state: Nevada, Wyoming, Utah, Delaware, everywhere. Okay. So, but as long as you're trying to keep your account straight and you're doing the best you can, not committing fraud, they will never pierce the corporate veil. Okay. And I've been doing this with Wyoming since 1987.
87, that's a long time. So for the viewer, if you have any other questions on it, if we still don't have it clear, make sure you get her information, and I'm sure she would talk to you a little bit more about that to make sure you're comfortable with the message that we're delivering.
Yeah.
So thank you for telling that piece, because the people were like, oh, it's anonymous. I'm sneaky. I'm doing something illegal.
Well, it's just that if someone really wants to find out, they will go to court. They will get a judge. They'll issue a case. They'll get a subpoena. Then they'll find your bank records and who's sending checks, of course. However, no attorney in a frivolous lawsuit or things like that, someone breaks their toe, oh, I'm going to sue or slip and fall. No attorney is going to go and spend all those hours doing all those things and spending that money ahead of time. He's going to say, you know what? Let's say you're in Florida and you say, okay, Geoff owns this company. We're going to sue Geoff. Well, of course, he's going to take 40%. He already knows where you are, your address, and everything.
Yeah.
In Wyoming, he has to spend money out of his legal account to find all that information. He will not do that. He'll go to his client and say, it's going to cost some money. I need $5,000.
Yeah.
And that's when that goes away. We're not trying to scam anyone. We're just trying to protect everything that we work for from anything that is not legitimate. If we legitimately screw up, sure, do it.
Yeah, you're going to pay the price.
People are just trying to come after you. We want to make it as difficult as possible for those scammers to go ahead and take advantage.
No, that's good. And you'll get a chance to leave your information in the chat, and we'll put it in there too, and make sure that people folks can continue any questions or conversations that we don't get to complete today. So thank you for dropping these nuggets. And I hope now, it's not just for real estate investors. Yes, you also help non-real estate folks, non-business.
Oh, yeah, I have people. I have construction people. I have nurses, real estate agents, teachers. Anyone who has something that they want to protect or is looking to start a side business or anything like that, I help everyone.
Yeah, because way too often, like you said, folks aren't prepared, and then they end up in probate, and then just,
Yeah, I mean, I even started an LLC for my.
Okay. All right, we got some Starbucks noise going on here. Let me see.
Sounds like someone's grinding some beans.
Coffee, man. I'm gonna have to get me a cut one with Penny. So, again, folks, thanks for hanging in there with us. We really appreciate that. So Cheri, while we were waiting for the beans to grind, let's kind of move into. I mean, obviously, you're in a place now where your world's a little different. Tell us about that roadblock when you started out that kind of kept you from going there, and the struggle, the doubt. Talk about that for a moment.
The easiest way to describe it would be paralyzing fear. I joined a group, which I will not mention, to learn about real estate investing. And one of their first things is make offers. The money will come. Well, I decided not to go that way. And so it was about a year before I even started making offers, because I wanted to know that if I made an offer, I could follow through.
Yep.
Because there were a couple people in our town that were investors that got blacklisted because they'd put a bunch of houses under contract and couldn't close on any of them. So the real estate agents were like, we're not working with this person.
Yeah.
So, and it was all about, from the start, building a reputation from the start and maintaining, those values, those ethics. So my roadblock was I was scared to fail.
Yeah.
And because of that, I didn't push myself like I should have initially. Yeah. Sometimes like with a baby, I don't advocate this, but throwing a baby in a pool and letting them figure out how to swim, kind of, just going in the deep end,
Yeah.
I dipped my toe in and finally it was like, I'm not getting anywhere. I need to just do this, Yeah. So I found a couple places that said, sure, we'll lend to you if the situation's right. So I went and found the situation. I'm like, you know what? I put $2,000 down in the house. If I lose it, I lose it, but I'm not going to make any money standing here not doing anything.
Right.
So, and, I started slow and I just started building, and it's not a race.
Yeah.
If you start racing, you're going to screw up and set yourself backwards,
Yeah.
So it's just doing a little things. I mean, if you don't know what you're doing, find someone who does and offer to put in sweat equity or some cash in the deal and get a percentage of it. People tell me, oh, I don't want a JV and give up half the profit. Like, well, I look at it this way. If I JV, on a $40,000 profit, I'm going to get 20 grand. If I don't do it, I'm going to get nothing.
That's right. That's right.
So half of something's better than all of nothing.
It's better than a sharp stick in the eye, my old buddy from Buffalo always says.
Absolutely.
And then also too is that you know, you do it yourself, and what looks like 40 grand could be a negative 40 grand, you know. Right? I mean, hey.
And one of the things I learned, I mean, a couple houses, I like to do some stuff myself. Hire the crews, get in, get out, because your loan has interest every month and taxes and insurance and utilities, you know. So I could do a house in 12 weeks by myself, or I could have someone in and out in 6.
Right.
It's like those extra 6 weeks are going to cost me $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 in holding costs and time. We don't know what the market's going to be like 6 months from now. So I like to get in, get done, get them sold while the market's still holding at a certain point. I don't like to speculate what's going to happen a year down the road.
Yeah, you know what?
Definitely not with the interest rates right now. And even here, prices are about the same, but days on market are getting a little longer.
What do you say the percentage is now in terms of days on market? 10%?
I would say in the houses I'm working, averaging, they were going under contract in 3 to 5 days. Now it's probably 15 to 20. So it's almost doubled as far, you know, and a lot of these people are trying to get USDA loans.
Yeah.
And the appraisals are 3-4 weeks out. So it's getting longer time to close. Instead of closing in 30 days, now we're looking at 45 to 60 on a lot of it, because FHA is tightening down again.
Yeah, they're kind of tightening, and I saw something about interest rates are not going to be where they are today. They're going to continue to get higher, and they're looking.
You know what? Back in the 70s, they were 17%. When I bought a house in '94, it was 8.5%. So I mean, it's been low for so long. People forget that, you know.
They really do.
That's the other issue: is people who qualified for a $400,000 house have to go back now, and they only qualify for $350 because the interest rate's gone up 3 or 4%.
Yeah.
So I'm underestimating all of my rehabs by 10% ARV just for that wiggle room, so I make sure my profit doesn't get lost.
No, that's important. We're kind of doing the same thing, and we're in that short-term rental space on some regional islands, so it's a little different. You know, they're still buying that because people are still traveling, still doing the regional things, and those are cash buyers.
Right.
If you have, you know, additional dwelling units or build out capabilities, we're finding that there's still an appetite for that.
We had a huge influx of people from New York and California who were buying cash everything around here. That seemed to slow down a bit.
Yeah.
Now that the election's over.
Oh, yeah, that's another conversation here. So let me go into the chat here and see others. If you do business in other states, do you have to have foreign entities in that state?
It depends on what you're doing. If it is an active entity and you are flipping, it still depends on whether or not you have private money or a hard money lender or a bank. A bank or hard money lender will have you register as a foreign entity there. Private money lenders don't care as long as your business is valid and registered. If you're doing passive income, if anyone has a holding company, don't do that. That's another conversation.
Yeah, okay.
If you just have, if you have a 401 solo 401k, we open it in Wyoming. We get you a company to manage it, to be your custodian, and you do not need to foreign file that as well. The only time you need to foreign file is when a lender or bank requires it. And the only issue I've found is that Wells Fargo has branches in Wyoming. So any Wells Fargo in the country, you do not have to foreign file. Some local banks will say, hey, you're not filed here, we can't open your account. And then we could file it for you. Okay. But it's on a case-by-case basis as to what you're doing. And I tell people when we open your LLCs, if you're not currently doing business yet, do not foreign file it. Because like Maryland, $500 a year for an annual report. I know people who were told to file in Las Vegas or Nevada, and 3 years later, they're paying for this and they don't have a deal yet.
Yeah.
So what happens is we get you filed, and then you say, Cheri, I just put a house under contract in Massachusetts or Maryland. and my lender says I have to foreign file. Okay, we get that done in a week or so,
Right.
but we don't do it years ahead of when you need it. So there's no point in spending all that money.
Yeah, because in Texas, it's like $1,000, just because.
It's $750 to foreign file in Texas.
Yeah. So it's that.
And then $39 for the registered agent.
39, yeah. If I say it's 1,000.
All these companies that are charging $100, $200, $50 a year for registered agents, they're actually using the same registered agents that I use that charge anywhere from $25 to $59, depending on the state grant.
Yeah. We are.
You're paying a lot for nothing.
Paying a lot for nothing, so we don't necessarily do that. So I appreciate those questions, and so we please that the person, because I can't see your name, if you do have more questions, we'll spend some time later on. We'll connect with Cheri so we can get to whatever questions you have. So Cheri, you mentioned fear. How's that feeling of fearing to fail now? Where'd you say your scale is at now?
I'm afraid of nothing. I'm afraid of nothing. I jumped out of a plane last week to celebrate my losing 100 pounds.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Yeah, they said, well, you have to go tandem. And I'm like, nope, it's just me, and it was amazing. So, yeah, I'm adventurous. I mean, I love my life. I had a rough night. I lost 2 of my dogs. I put down the past 3 months. And then last night, right by bedtime, I have a 21-year-old African gray parrot. And she wasn't looking good in the bottom of her cage. And I picked her up and I put her in a blanket, put her in the bed, and she passed last night.
Oh, man.
So, but overall, I'm very happy with the way my life is going. I do some personal development. I do some coaching for people that truly need it, because I used to suffer from severe depression. When my mom died, I just kind of got lost. I was her caregiver, and I just didn't know what to do. So for 6 years, I went to work. I bartended part-time. I went through the motions of life, but I wasn't going anywhere. And I kind of finally got out of that and learned why I was going through those behaviors and how to fix them. And now I'm extremely grateful to God for my life and for everything I have and everything I've been given. And I cherish everything.
Well, let me congratulate you, first of all, for the 100 pounds. And I know that wasn't an easy task. And also, I'm sending you a virtual hug for those family members that you lost. I mean, I get it.
Thank you.
I know how important they are to you. And I've had my own experience. As a matter of fact, my last pet was Sharpei Chico. And he passed. And when he did, I'm like, man, I can't go through that again. So, I get it.
I had 2 dogs and Jamie when I moved down here, and now I've lost all 3. And I do have another dog. She's very sweet. A couple of cats that showed up one day. I have so much love to give. I'll just keep taking all the animals that need help.
Come on, girl. I love that. So listen, I want to ask you a question, and because oftentimes we'll have folks on talking about health, and we talk about sometimes it's not what you eat, but it's what's eating you. And I know you were a practicing NLP practitioner and that. So in your journey, I'm gonna put you on the spot a little bit, and we'll kind of come to the end. That 100 pounds. What did you find about yourself as those pounds fell off? You know what I mean?
Well, I became severely diabetic. I was on 3 types of insulin, metformin, 2 blood pressure medicines, cholesterol medicine, vitamin D deficiency, acid reflux. And a lot of it was I ate to just numb the pain of everything. And I realized that I wasn't becoming happier. Eating was great for a 10-minute solution, but then those feelings came back. I ended up having weight loss surgery in Mexico because I had lost some weight, but I just wasn't losing it fast enough for the medications. And I didn't want to have, neuropathy of the feet and vision loss and things like that. So I had the surgery, and the surgery, people are like, oh, it's a quick fix. It's not a quick fix. You have to change everything. You have to change your way of life, change your way of eating. but I made a commitment that I was worth it.
Yeah, come on,
You
girl.
know,
Say that again.
when you think you're not worth it, you tend to care about everybody else except yourself.
Yes.
And that's, I had become a caregiver for everybody else, not myself.
Yes, yes.
So I think just realizing that as the pounds came off, you know, sometimes you wouldn't notice, and I put a pair of pants on, I'm like, holy cow, and I weigh myself, I dropped 8 pounds that week or something. And, you know, then it became exciting. It was like, I went into the store and I grabbed a pair of pants and I didn't try them on. I took them home and they fit. And I was like, woohoo, you know, I can shop off the rack.
Yeah, how about that? Wow.
They're called non-scale victories. But those little things, I had to crawl around putting vinyl tile on, which used to kill me. I mean, I still have bad knees, but it's like now it's like I'm faster. I don't have the bulk, you know. I'm finding that I had to chase after my cat the other day and I didn't puke and we're going out of breath. You know, I was like, all right, this is cool. So, you know, now that I've gotten to this place, I still have about 30 pounds to go, but I'm enjoying the journey now. I'm making it about not going, oh, I have to do this to get where I want to be, but it is, I am enjoying the process that's going to get me there.
Yeah.
You know, this little victory, I go celebrate. You know, this little thing, I celebrate. Because if you don't celebrate on the way, it becomes a chore.
Oh yeah, that's powerful.
So if you want this outcome, set 20 little tiny goals to get there, and each one celebrate every single thing you can, because tomorrow it may be too late.
Yeah. Wow. And is it fair to say most people have a problem, including me, sometimes celebrating our victories?
Everybody.
You know?
Sometimes we feel like, oh, I shouldn't pat myself on the back.
Yeah.
No, there's nobody else standing behind me. So, you know, good job, you know. And be proud of yourself. I mean, what's the point of achieving something just to, you know, to be proud of it, to, you know, to embrace it, to celebrate it.
Yeah.
Life is too short not to celebrate everything, you know.
Yeah, say that.
I bake a cake and I don't burn it. Let's celebrate, you know. That cake. Although it's keto now, but you know.
Okay, I was getting ready to say, watch out now. Don't be like me.
Yeah, no sugar. No sugar.
Yeah, no, I love that. You know, our tendency is to play small, and we're not meant to play small. You know, so anyway, listen. Wow, this has been really enlightening for me, and hopefully for our guests. I'm seeing powerful celebrate the victories along the way. Yes, and encouraging words from the chat. As we wind down,
every time you talk to someone, if my goal is to make people smile now. I don't care if it's a kid bagging my groceries, some guy walking on the street, I'll be like, nice shoes. And he'll look down, not even realizing what he's wearing and going, really?
Yeah.
I'm made you look. And he'll laugh.
Yeah.
You know, that guy may have been having a terrible day. But sometimes just a laugh or something simple will snap you out of it. So if I can just make people smile, that's wonderful, you know.
Wow, well, you're making me smile, and I can't see our audience, but I'm sure they're smiling along with us. You know, and those of you that check this thing out later on, please make sure you drop some love in here for our guest Cheri Harris, because I mean it's been really just an enjoyable time. So how do people get in touch with you, and do you have any programs that you know that you may want to mention before we kind of wrap up?
They can email me and set up a call. My email is, can you type it in? I'm on my phone, so it's hard.
Yeah, we'll get it typed in.
Cheri, Cheri, at corporately, corporatele.com.
Okay. Yeah.
And you know, any legal, I mean, I obviously am a paralegal. I don't give legal advice. If first, I do work with attorneys, so if we need to refer you to someone, we can. But I have been doing this for a very long time, and I can tell you what other people that are in your position or are where you want to be, how they start out and what they do. Yeah.
Now, what about your NLP practitioner space?
That I did just for myself. Okay. If someone needs to talk, of course, anytime. If someone is suffering and really needs to, you can call me at any time. I'll answer the phone 24 hours a day. 423-800-2850. The first 5 words you should say to me is, I am not a bill collector. And then we're good. I'll be like, hello.
Hello, I can't hear you. Hello.
I've had so many medical bills. I paid off. That was another thing. Everybody told me to file bankruptcy because I had over 600,000 medical bills from cancer. And I used all of my flips. I settled it for $350 and I got it paid off. And to me, it's a huge achievement. People are like, you should file bankruptcy, and I should have. But I'm so stubborn that I was like, no, I'm just gonna go make the money. Which people are like, yeah, right. I'm like, nope, I'm gonna find a way.
Yeah.
And through real estate, I was able to do that.
And I think people need to hear that last statement. Through real estate, you were able to do that, which was a big thing. Real estate is not just about cars and houses. It's about fixing debt issues.
And there's so many ways you can get involved in real estate, whether it's lending to someone $5,000 down payment money, or being a private money lender, or putting in sweat equity, or being a contractor, being a real estate agent. There are so many different things that you can do. And sometimes it's just getting your feet wet in one to find out, okay, I'm a real estate agent. You know what? I think I'm going to go invest, and then branch out from there.
Yeah, that's good advice. And we have something Jackie Brown says, thank you. We need more people carrying the light that you bring. Jackie, we always appreciate your shout outs.
Thank you, Jackie.
And some other folks I can't see their names. So, Cheri, listen, you hung in there with me in spite of where we are. I love that, and looking forward to maybe bringing you back with something around your practice that can do that, maybe do a workshop or something. I think it's really super important, to get protected and not pay an arm and a leg for it, and
right,
and be comfortable knowing that you're getting what you need and what you want, not what you don't need.
Yeah, I'm the person who watches your back.
Yeah, well, that's how we met.
Well, when you're doing this, I watch my own back, obviously, but when you're doing this, you're preoccupied with A, B, C, getting this done. Sometimes it's nice just to have someone go, hey, it's time to get this renewed.
Yeah.
Hey, let's double check and make sure you're covered. Just someone who's kind of there for you when you need them.
No, especially around your business entities, and I have that, so I'll hear you when you say it. Because leave it up to me, it would be a mess.
And if there's anybody here who has LLCs in Nevada, you're paying way too much a year.
Yeah.
The annual fees in Nevada are $350. If you're with a 3-letter company in Nevada that got you set up, they're trying to charge you $227 a year for your registered agent. We can move you to Wyoming and change that from $600 or $700 a year down to $150.
Yeah.
So it's a big savings,
I hope the people are listening that are in that situation. So that's a real solution for something that we no longer have to be stuck with.
Right.
Well, listen, it's been a blast. And you know what? I didn't tell people, but that's how we met. You actually had an investor that we took a property over from here who you work with. So I know, I've experienced your expertise in your direction, and you're I'll say this and we'll wrap it up. You're not just one-sided. You want everybody to be in the best position.
Oh yeah. People who are like, oh, I'm not going to share this, I'm not going to share that. You know what? I get probably 50 deals a day sent to me.
Yeah.
I can do maybe 1 or 2 a month.
Yeah.
There are so many things out there for everybody to get involved.
It really is. No matter what you're hearing about, there's no deals or all the market's so crazy, that's nonsense.
And there are so many people, like if you're a stager, if you're a designer, if you're a painter, there are so many ways within our communities to spread the wealth within our own community versus taking it outside. There are a lot of communities, nationalities that will spend money in their community and everybody gets richer.
That's right. That's right.
And that's the same thing. It's kind of like that shop local thing. If I know someone who's a real estate investor who's a stager, I'll be like, hey, can you come give me a quote on this?
Right.
And then when they need something, they call me. And you just keep you keep that community. It's not just the networking, but it's just the sense of someone has your back and you're always there for each other.
Got your back. They're always there for each other, and you grow and you learn. It's almost like a little private mastermind, right? If you really use it right. You know, I mean, because you all become comfortable, and then if something's wrong, they walk into the house and, you know, they stage it, and you're looking at it like, how were you? Like,
oh yeah, there's a few of us that get together once a month at a bar, and we say, what's your problem? You know, who's got a problem? And we solve things for each other. Or we'll say, you know what, this is starting to happen, so look out for this. Or don't use this guy because he's a scammer, and we've been with the blacklist, you know.
I get it. So collective genius, my friend. That's what's happening with that space. So listen, boy, it's been a joy. And if you have a couple minutes to hang around afterwards, I want to thank you. And I hope you've enjoyed it like we have.
I have.
I know it's taken a while to get this together. And thank you for enduring the time you took to get it. And appreciate you, my friend.
Thank you. I hope everybody got something out of this.
Oh yeah, I'm for sure they did, and they'll hear it later on, and I know they did.
Okay.
Thanks, Cheri. I'll be in touch. We'll see you. All right.
Thanks.
Woo. All right. Well, hey, thanks for everybody hanging in there. I know that you got noise going on, and I'm gonna stop mentioning it, but thank you all for doing that. And they're saying bye for Cheri. We got her information, and she did mention too. Hey, look, you know, you real estate investors. There's all kinds of ways to get started. And I would be remiss by not mentioning to you our free 3-day challenge. Build your flipping business. Go from stuck to unstoppable. For that new female investor who's gone to training, done some flips, maybe got ready to do some things. They may made a mistake, and now you're stuck and you can't move to the next level. Check out the links should be in the chat. Make sure you check out the links to the challenge. Build your flipping business. It starts November 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. I don't want to go on all the dates because I don't have it written down. I'll mess them up for sure. But anyway, check the link. Get registered there. We have a private Facebook group. Build your flipping business. And man, we have a pre-training. In addition, we like to kind of get people all set up so when the challenge starts, they'll be on fire and momentum going on. And this week we're gonna have a workshop, pre-challenge workshop this Saturday at 11 o'clock Eastern time. So the link should be in there. If you can't get it, can't get registered, please make sure you do. I want to tell you something, right? There's no better time than now, in spite of the inflation. There's no better time than now, in spite of high interest rates. We are investors. We are not retail buyers. There's different things that we should be looking at that we may not have looked at a year ago in this business. And we'll talk about that in the challenge. So build your flipping business. Join the Facebook group. Build your flipping business. Make sure you look at the Saturday challenge training that's coming up. And for those of you that want more information and understand the power of investing, we do have an upgrade, a $47 upgrade that's going to get you an hour and a half after the challenge each day or longer, depending on where we are, because I'm going to hang around and give it what I can until we get done. And if you don't get what you need, we'll give you money back plus some. So anyhow, again, special thanks to our guests. And as always, remember that voice that's inside of you. I remember I talked about my nephew who started out in corporate America. Now he's got a church that wants him and is providing for his family to be full-time in ministry, right? And so what is your message? What is your path? And what are you doing to stop it? More importantly, know that you can change it. All right. So listen, gotta go. Thank you all for hanging out with us at Starbucks Conversations with Geoff. Get that information, share that information about the challenge, and we'll see you soon. Thanks again to our guest, Cheri Harris. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.